Here at Morton United Methodist Church, these children quietly color as they wait for their parents on the other side of the room. This is a stark contrast to the tumultuous events that these same children endured August 7, 2019, the day Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents, more commonly known as ICE, raided several work sites here in Mississippi. Reverend Sheila Cumbest, pastor at Morton and Lena United Methodist Churches, remembers the day well.
We were at a funeral at a church member who passed away, his mother, when we got a text saying, ICE is in town and they're busing people out. And all I could think of is, I've got to get back as soon as possible. So as soon as the funeral was over, I left McGee, drove back here, and I sat literally on the corner of the street past the church and watched the buses pull out of the chicken plant, hauling people off.
ICE agents arrested approximately 680 people in the largest single state immigration enforcement action in U.S. history. This left many children without a parent to come pick them up from what was for many the first day of school, or greet them as they arrived from their school buses, facing a sudden and traumatic separation from their families, not knowing why they were taken or when they would see them again.
It's like a nightmare because her mom is already deported. She's in Mexico now.
Shared a man who will be referred to as H, who says his wife had asylum in the U.S., but was still taken away from her two children. A mother who was detained the day of the ICE raid said,
"When I lost my job, my daughter started crying because we didn't have money to pay the bills."
Children and youth minister at Morton United Methodist Church, Jamie Beatty, explains that immediately after the ICE raids, the community saw the safety and well-being of the children impacted as their top priority.
So have you had cases where maybe the child was with aunts or cousins or uncles and they didn't have both people?
Yes, but all children were taken care of by a family member, just might not have been a parent.
So there were some cases where both parents were detained?
Yes.
In addition to pastoring two churches, Reverend Cumbest also serves as the chair of the Board of Trinity Mission, a ministry focused on partnering with the Hispanic community in Forest, Mississippi, which also had a plant raided by ICE agents.
My friends at Trinity Mission wanted to do something immediately. People started calling us saying, Sheila, what can we do? I said, send food, send money, and here's where you can send it. And first we started at Trinity the day after, receiving shipments all over the place and creating a food pantry to distribute food there.
Notifications began to go out through the church's social media and district e-newsletters to let people know how they could assist with providing immediate response for families in the early hours and days after the ICE raids. Bishop James E. Swanson Sr., Episcopal leader of the Mississippi area, sent out a call to action the next day across the United Methodist Connection to help begin to provide stability for the children and families impacted.
It wasn't a political statement because I'm not into that. I think people ought to know me better than that by now. It was a statement of my faith and my belief in a God who shows grace and who asked me to follow his example of how to be in community with other people. And so that's what I did. And I'm just so overwhelmed that many of our people did catch that. They saw it and they responded in a way to the plight of those children by looking and saying, if that was my child, would I not want someone else to help out as well?
Over the last 3 months, monetary and food donations have come in from across the country. Jim Ferris is a volunteer at the food pantry with We Care Mission, a ministry that has served the local Hispanic community in Morton, Mississippi for over 25 years.
I help in order the food and make sure we have enough food, hopefully to serve all the people that come. We estimate and try to have food available for 81 families each time.
Food and supply donations are appreciated and welcome, but according to Ferris, monetary donations are the most helpful because he can purchase high quantities of food in bulk at a much cheaper price from the local grocery stores than the average donor can. This allows coordinators and volunteers to stretch donor dollars much farther. Before the pantry opens in Morton, coordinators and volunteers meet to assess the needs of the families that come to the pantry and align those needs with donated resources. One of those volunteers and member of Church of the King, Frida Jenkins, says that months after the ice raids, the needs are still great, but the pantry schedule gets adjusted to best utilize donations and manpower.
The first week we did every day except for Sunday. And then the next week we started going on Mondays and Thursdays. And just this past week, we've started once every 2 weeks just on Mondays, and they get 2 weeks worth of food.
Currently, every other Monday, families go through this intake process at the pantry.
Here where we have them sign in, and a volunteer who is a bilingual speaker will translate with them what they need. They may need extra things for their children like formula or diapers, and we'll write down the need of the family, how large the family is, and we'll pass that off then to a volunteer who's over in this area who will prepare a box.
Thanks to donated dollars and food, these boxes are filled with laundry detergent, cereal, diapers, baby wipes, dishwashing liquid, cooking oil, and other non-perishable items, and then distributed to families.
You wanted them to stay stable as much as you could, you know, but it's really hard, I'm sure, because there's some that both parents are unemployed. Maybe one, you know, in some families, one person is at home and the other one's detained.
Although faith communities, Sunday school classes, educators, and individuals from around the country generously gave to help these children and families, over 3 months after the raids, it's becoming more and more difficult to replenish the pantry.
Right after the ice raid happened, this room was packed with food. And I just remember thinking, this food is gonna last forever. And then a few weeks later, the shelves and the tables, they started to thin out.
By mid-October, just the monetary donations received by the Mississippi United Methodist Conference totaled almost $55,000. But purchasing food for the pantry alone, on average, cost approximately $5,000 a month. Plus, food was not the only need of these families.
I think a concern that maybe has become more evident is the bills, rent, utilities, that sort of thing, just because that's one of the most expensive parts of living is housing and utilities. And so we have seen more people start to come for help with their bills over the last couple of months.
Twice a month, Morton United Methodist Church opens its doors for families impacted by the ice raids to bring their bills and talk with a case manager about assistance with rent and other utilities.
For the last 2 months in Morton alone, we've spent almost $68,000 on utilities and rent. That doesn't include food. That is simply utilities and rent for the families affected in Morton, Mississippi.
Additionally, volunteers and those impacted by the ice raids both face communications challenges due to language barriers, even with the help of Spanish translators.
We have so many Guatemalan dialects in this area that it's not just a Spanish language that everybody can speak. So we've had to overcome issues of language, trying to communicate what we can assist with and how we can help them, and for them to tell us what they need or what they feel even. Because it's not just giving them food and shelter. These are real people just like me. They have real feelings and they hurt, and they're hurting badly. Their children are hurting badly.
This mother of 3, who will be referred to as O, shared through her daughter's translation about challenges they face as a family in addition to nourishment and a place to live.
She does worry, but we're the one that worries about her, that she doesn't have a job and like how we're gonna eat and everything. And like we like for a week or something, we didn't want to eat, play, or sleep sometimes. My little sister, she'll be just dreaming that her dad came and she'll wake up and nothing happened. But, like now, like they're helping us and everything, we're getting a little bit okay.
Is he still detained?
Mm-hmm. And she said that she wants him to get out back because when he gets out because we don't know. She does not know how to ride a car, and we need him a lot because for food and everything. This donation has been very helpful. It's been helping us pay the bills, get our food, and everything we need for our daily life.
The Methodist Children's Homes of Mississippi and the Solomon Counseling Center, a branch of Catholic Charities, both offered counseling services to help with the emotional needs of children and families impacted by the raids. Currently, there are 5 sites located in the 5 communities where plants were raided by ICE: Canton, Carthage, Forest, Morton, and Laurel. In addition to United Methodist Aid, the Catholic Church and other faith communities are pooling resources and coordinating efforts in managing the sites.
As in most cases when there is a crisis, people forget about the denominational barriers and they just respond to people in need. And what a beautiful picture of the church.
The faithful generosity of gracious givers has and continues to contribute to the well-being and stability of hundreds of children and families impacted by the ICE raids that took place August 7th. However, the aftershock of the raids may last anywhere from 6 months to 2 years due to those who were detained being given court dates that extend as far as 2021. Site managers will soon gather to discuss next steps on how to serve the needs of these communities in the near future. For Mississippi Conference Communications, I'm Jasmine Haynes, reporting.